guys, welcome back to the channel. And for today's video, man, I actually wanted to show you guys another solo, but ever since 3.1 went live and we got the X-Men, I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of messages from people asking me what are the best characters to farm if you're a new player, if you're trying to catch up, what is the best way to go about it. So I wanted to do that one today. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my God honest opinion about how I would go about attacking this game if I was just starting right now and I had the knowledge that I do right now. Okay guys, so first and foremost, when you start this game and you load up the tutorial, actually pay attention to what they're saying to you in the tutorial so you actually learn something from it. Because when I actually started playing this game, I was so excited to actually just get in and play with some of my favorite characters that I just clicked a whole bunch of buttons and ended up skipping the entire tutorial without learning a damn thing. And I ended up having to backpedal to actually learn some of the stuff that I could have learned by just simply going through the tutorial properly, right? And they've improved the tutorial since then. So please guys, actually watch the tutorial if you're new to this game. Secondly guys, when you finish the tutorial, you get these three characters right here. You don't get them in the uniform like I do, but you get Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Widow. And most people right now would tell you, do not invest in these characters. They're garbage, or they suck, or they're not that good. And I'm going to tell you, although they're not top tier characters, I'm going to disagree with those people. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, go ahead and work on them, man. Go ahead and work on them. And the reason for that is because if you're new to this game, Captain America is going to be a really good character for you to get your feet wet with, because he's one of those characters that can take being punched in the face repeatedly and actually keep fighting. And if you're new to this game, you're not going to have the technical skills right out the gate, and your characters are not going to be built very well. So it's going to be very, very beneficial to you to have a character like him that can take damage and not die, so you actually get some practice using the characters. Because if a character just keeps dying, you don't really have that much time to use them in order to get better at the game, right? So Captain America is going to be a really good character for you. I'm not telling you to go super hard and invest all your resources into him. I'm not saying that. I'm saying get him to 6-star, get him to 6-star mastery, put some gears on him, level him up, level up his skills, that kind of stuff, okay? He's going to be good for you. World Boss, you can clear it, but he's going to be mainly a PvP type of character, right? He's going to be good for Battle World to get you some gold, get you some materials, whether it's cards, ISOs, custom gears, whatever it is they're offering that week is going to be good for you. And timeline, you're going to be in the bottom, you're going to be in bronze, so Cap can definitely hold it down there, okay? Next is going to be Black Widow. Black Widow, similar to Cap, she's not going to be a top tier character for World Boss and stuff, but where she will excel in Alliance Battle where Cap doesn't. So at tier 1, she can clear normal speed day, and at tier 2, she's going to do really well in Extreme AB, right? That's her main role right now, and that's what it's been for the longest time. She's been an AB character, although she does do work in Speed Battle World, okay? Last but definitely least, yes, least, is Iron Man. This guy has been at the bottom of this trio for as long as I can remember. He started the game, he was the worst, he still is, and that's because it's been 2 years and both Cap and Widow has received reworks to their entire kit. He hasn't received a damn thing, so he's still at the bottom. However, I'm going to still tell you, go ahead and build him up. However, unlike Cap and Widow, don't invest in his gears or his skills. Just get him to 6-star and get him to 6-star mastery. And the reason for that is because you're building him to be a leader. You're not building him to be an actual like combat character. You're not trying to use him to fight. I have mine maxed out because I have a lot of characters maxed out. I've been playing forever. So go ahead and build him for his leadership, because if you're new to this game, guys, you're not going to have really good freaking cards. Your cards are going to be pretty bad, and you're not going to have really good skill cooldown. And skill cooldown is one of the 3 most important stats in this game, guys. And if you're new, you're probably thinking, what the hell, why is skill cooldown important? Well, guys, having really good skill cooldown, guys, means that you can attack more often. And the more often you can attack, the more damage you can deal. The more damage you can deal, the more likely you are to win your fights, right? If you have really low skill cooldown, you're going to be spending a lot of the time that you're fighting for running away, waiting for your skills to come off cooldown. And when that happens, you're either going to 1, run out of time, or 2, die when you're running. So that's why I'm telling you to go ahead and work on freaking Iron Man. Even though he's not a great character, he's definitely going to be useful to you, because your cards are not going to be as good as people who've been playing for a while. He's definitely going to be really useful for you. I'll also tell you, go ahead and build up Agent 13 for that exact same reason. Okay, let me go ahead and find her for you. And like you see right here, her leadership is exactly the same. She's going to be very beneficial to you when you're starting out, right? After this, guys, You guys get a lot of bonuses when you start playing this game. I'm actually really jealous. Like when I started, they gave us a 3-star selector and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. I got a 3-star hero. Well, now you guys actually get 2 6-star selectors, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you the very first character you should go ahead and get is this lady right here, Sharon Rogers. She's not going to have the uniform, but that don't matter. She's one of the best characters in the game. At tier 1, she's the best character in the game, hands freaking down. No one else come close, so you definitely want to get her as your very first character, for sure. She's going to make it so that even if you're really sloppy at this game and you suck, you have a lot of time to learn, because she has damage block, she has iframes or invincibility frames, which means you cannot be targeted. So you're going to get the time that you need playing this game in order to get better at it. She's going to be very useful for you, and she's great for every single game mode. World boss, alliance battle, timeline, battle world, you name it, she got it. She's the entire freaking package. At tier 2, she's top 10. Closer to 5 in the overall game. We have over 120 characters right now, okay? Next character you're going to get, I'm going to tell you to get, is Robbie Reyes, okay? Robbie Reyes, he's a universal type, so he has no weaknesses. And 2, he has a lot of iframes and really long iframes at that. So if you're new to this game, it's going to give you a lot of time to play around. You can make mistakes and not get punished, and that way you can get better at playing the game. His damage is not nearly as good as Sharon Rogers, but he has the survivability, and his damage is no joke either, okay? The third character that I'm going to tell you to choose, and this one I'm going to tell you to choose from your hero's journey, I'm going to tell you to go ahead and pick Moon Knight, okay? And the reason why I'm telling you to pick Moon Knight is because Moon Knight is a very good character. However, unlike these two, in order to be amazing, Moon Knight requires his tier 2 passives. So it's up to you who you want to give your very first tier 2 ticket to. Either way, you can't go wrong, but Moon Knight is the only one of these 3 that actually needs it to be amazing. If he gets that tier 2 ticket, he can pretty much do everything in the game and do it well, okay? The third thing I want to talk to you guys about is the 3 days of premium selectors that you guys get. And I'm actually super freaking jealous, because when I started, they did not have any premium characters, so we older players don't have this, so you guys get a little bit of an advantage coming in, and that's good because you guys are behind and you guys kind of need that. So when you get those 3 days, guys, I'm going to tell you 4 characters that you should consider spending those 3 days on. Do not spend all 3 days of the premium selectors on one character. You want to go ahead and get either Agent Venom, because he's one of the best combat characters in the game. He has really good survivability, amazing damage, and overall he's just a freaking beast of a character. He's going to help you in every single game mode. Next on the list is actually Enchantress. Enchantress, the main thing that makes her so freaking good is the fact that she has a charm. And it's a one-of-a-kind skill that only she's able to use, and it pretty much makes anyone fall to their knees, guys, no matter what. Man, woman, girl, child, boy, whatever, okay? And then she can just pretty much bash their face in with a baseball bat, and she can win the fight just like that, okay? So she's actually a really good character for that reason in every single game mode. PvP, PvE, she's amazing for that. So you definitely want to think about getting her as one of the 3 days of premium selectors that you get. Kid Kaiju, he's one of the best speed characters in the game. I really wish I had him, but I don't. So if you guys get the opportunity, please pick him, because he's going to be a really good character. He's kind of squishy, but he has a lot of summons, and they can pull aggro and do a lot of freaking damage. So that's going to make him really amazing. And since he's speed, you want to think about getting him for sure, because the speed type in this game is pretty bad, okay? Last but definitely not least is Carnage, okay? Carnage is the best combat supervillain in the game right now, and he's been that way for a very long time, ever since he's released, okay? So I'm going to tell you guys, go ahead and think about getting him. He's definitely going to be amazing for every single game mode, especially if you tier 2 him. Now, after you pick those 3 days of selectors, guys, you're not going to be able to get any more bios for these characters. So what you're going to need to do is what I'm going to tell you to do if you're free to play. If you're not, that's fine. You can spend money, you can buy it again and then rank them up that way. But if you're free to play, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and just let them sit at 1 star. And just go ahead and save up your crystals from playing the game. And if you're diligent and you play regularly, you'll be able to save up some crystals, and then you can use that to buy a mega rank up ticket from the store, and then you can use it to get them to 6 stars. From there, you can then work on their gears and get it to plus 15, and that's as far as you can take them without buying the monthly selector again. However, if you do that 3 times, you got 3 6-star characters that would otherwise not be available to you. So I'm kind of jealous, but at the same time, I want to give you guys the God honest truth about how I would go about it. That's what I suggest you guys doing. Even if they're only at plus 15 gears, they're going to be really, really good for pretty much everything, okay? They're not going to be like amazing because they're not tier 2, but they're going to be really freaking good, okay? So next I would jump into the story missions, and I'm going to tell you guys which of the story characters that I would actually farm for, okay? So we already got Cap, Iron Man, and Widow out the way. The next one on my list right here, guys, is going to be, if I can find her. So we already talked about Agent 13, right? You got to make sure you farm her for her skill cooldown. The next one is actually going to be Elektra, guys. Elektra, okay? She's actually one of the best speed types in the game right now. She is actually better than Black Widow all around. She can do World Boss very well. She can do PvP very well. She can do Alliance Battle very well and Shadowland very well. She's an amazing character all around. You can get 30 buys for her per day, so you definitely should go ahead and do that, okay? She's going to be amazing for you. Next is going to be Iron Fist, okay? Iron Fist is actually one of the best combat characters in the game, and I keep saying combat characters. There's a lot of characters that are pushing for the best spot in the game right now, and he's one of them, okay? However, Iron Fist, you actually have to have his freaking uniform, okay? You need, not you, you know Iron Fist. Okay, so you definitely need to have this uniform right here if you want to get the absolute most out of him, because Iron Fist is one of those characters that have really high burst damage, but his survivability is very, very low. You can get any of the 3 uniforms, and that will give him a survivability boost, but this one right here is by far the best if you want to get the most out of him. If you give him this uniform, he'll be able to clear World Boss 7 out of 7 days. He'll be able to clear Alliance Battle. He'll be able to clear Extreme Alliance Battle and get you over 100,000 pretty easily if you tier 2 him and have him built up pretty well. Shadowland, he'll be able to clear multiple different floors, so that's actually a really, really good thing for you to invest in, okay? Next character is actually going to be Dr. Octavius, surprisingly. He's actually one of the best super villains that you can actually farm for in this game. This fat man right here. And if you guys don't believe me, check the channel. This guy can actually clear normal AB on the combat day. He can actually clear multiple different floors in Shadowland, and I can get 5 out of 7 World Boss clears with him, okay? And all of this is at tier 1, okay, guys? Next character on my list that I would farm for if I was going through this thing right again is going to be Black Panther. And Black Panther in this game right now has a good mix of damage and survivability, okay? However, you can only get 10 bios for him per day, so that's going to take you a long time if you don't use selectors on him. But he is really good. He can do World Boss, he can do Shadowland, he can do PvP in Battle World. Timeline, I wouldn't put him in there. He's not going to do very well. But then again, you're going to be in the bronze starting out, so he might just do okay. Okay? Next one I would actually farm for is actually Black Bolt. Black Bolt, very similar to Black Panther, is actually a really good character. He has a nice mix of damage and a little bit of survivability. At tier 1, he has an HP shield and he has 1 iframe. However, at tier 2, he becomes significantly better. He actually moves from being a middle tier universal type to actually being one of the best universal types in the game, because he gets a big bump to his survivability. 5 seconds of damage block is amazing, and he gets a bump to his damage as well, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and throw one bonus character in here that I'll farm for, and that's Thor. Even though Thor is really not that great in this game, I'm actually so upset about that. His damage is actually really freaking good. However, you're gonna need this uniform that I have. If I can find it, give me a sec, guys. You're gonna need the Unworthy Thor uniform for him. And we finally found him. So yeah, you're gonna need this uniform right here, because Thor has really low survivability. He has no iframes. He does have a guard on his 5 skill, but it only lasts for 4 seconds. He has really amazing damage, and since all his skills deal lightning damage, it's very easy to scale it with an obelisk, but he does not last very long in a lot of the game modes that are currently in the game. So World Boss, a lot of the World Bosses can just deal damage through the shield, and Alliance Battle, even at tier 2, he won't get you over 100k, so that's kind of sad for the God of Thunder, okay? However, he's still pretty good. He can wipe a lot of freaking people in Battle World if you're really new and you're avoiding the meta type characters. So that's why I wanted to put him in here, because with this uniform, he's actually playable, okay? Another character that I wanted to throw in as a bonus is actually, let me find this guy. This bastard right here, Lincoln. Now, Lincoln is just a half decent character. He's good for Shadowland, and he can do World Boss a little bit, not that much. But the main reason why I use him is because of his leadership. Let me go ahead and find him. I should just stay on this page, but I wanted to show you guys where the missions were. Anyways, so Lincoln I use mainly for his leadership because if I'm gonna get Thor and Thor deals lightning damage, I wanted to get the highest damage boosting leadership for Thor, and that would be Lincoln because it will make it so that even though Thor has low survivability, if I can kill them before they can kill me, then that's a win for me, okay? So that's why I have Lincoln here, and he's actually really good for Black Widow as well because Black Widow deals lightning damage, okay? As for the other characters that I would farm for, guys, Dimension Rift, I would definitely go ahead and farm for, first and foremost, Loki, because Loki is super easy to use. He has really good damage and pretty good survivability. I would definitely farm for him first, and the only reason why I wouldn't use a selector from him is because you're gonna need to build up your cards regardless. The next character that I would definitely 100% work on is Yellow Jacket, because Yellow Jacket is one of the best characters in the game, and I know I keep saying best a lot, guys, but Yellow Jacket is definitely one of the best characters in the game. This guy's been in the game for 2 years, and there's never been a time when Yellow Jacket was not mentioned when the conversation was about best character in the game or best character in the Blast category. Yellow Jacket has always been at the top, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. He has really freaking high burst damage even at tier 1, and he has pretty good survivability in 2 full iframes and 1 partial iframe, okay? An honorable mention right here is definitely the Wasp. You want to keep an eye on her because she's going to be a really good character. Her damage is low, but her survivability is high, and she has a really good passive to counter some of the meta type characters in the game right now. Okay? Ronin is also a really useful character to have for his leadership, 36% all attack and all defense for universal types. Next is going to be the Epic Quest, and I'm going to start with the Doctor Strange Epic Quest. Memory missions, I would definitely 150% farm. Yeah, I said 150%. I know, guys. I don't math very well. I'm playing. Anyways, I would definitely go ahead and farm for the Ancient One first and foremost. This guy right here, I call him the Jack of all trades, okay? He doesn't have crazy burst DPS, but he makes up for it by having really freaking high survivability. And personally, I've cleared 6 out of 7 world bosses using this guy at tier 1. The only one I couldn't beat is Infinity Thanos, and that's strictly because I ran out of time, okay? This guy is a beast. Shadowland, I've completed multiple different solos with him. Battle World, he's an annoyance because if you put invincibility on his obelisk and throw him in even into a weak team, you can use him to drag out the fight because he has a super big healing dome that you can just keep running into to get a heal when your character is about to die, and then just use your stronger characters to mow down the enemy. Really, really useful character. I would definitely go ahead and work on getting him to 6-star first. Next one I would work on is actually Baron Mordo. And this guy right here, similar to Yellow Jacket, he has really high damage. Not as high as Yellow Jacket, but it's pretty high. And he has survivability in a couple iframes and a guard, okay? So definitely a good character. I would work on him second in here. And as for the Dark Dimension, I would work on freaking Hellstorm first and foremost. He would be the very first one I work on because he has damage block at tier 1 and he has really freaking good damage on top of the fact that he has clone. To me, that's a win, win, win. Definitely would work on him first. I would definitely work on his sister too because she has a fire buffing leadership that synergizes very well with him. So you definitely want to go for these two as a pair, okay? They work very well together. As for the X-Men, guys, I'm not done yet. I'm going to tell you guys about the 2 that I would definitely go for first, okay? Cyclops. I would definitely go for Cyclops first. He has one of the best leaderships in the game. Even though it seems he's not going to be a standout character, but his leadership is definitely one to keep an eye on, okay? After that, I would definitely think about getting Rogue because she seems like she's going to bring something new and amazing to the speed class, okay? So that's why I'm picking these 2. Hopefully my hunch on Rogue actually turns out to be true and she becomes really freaking amazing, okay? Next is actually going to be Villain Siege. If I can find this thing, I'll just go into Villain Siege right here. And the Chaos Shop, guys, I would actually work on freaking getting Elsa as the very first one, okay? Definitely want to build her first. She's one of the best speed types in the game. So you want to build her as fast as possible and tier 2 her, okay? Definitely do her. And then if you have her completely done, go ahead and get Ant-Man. This guy right here, Lash. Okay, hopefully he's removed by the time you're watching this video. Next, honor token. Definitely go ahead and get Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, whatever they want to call her. I would go ahead and work on her first. Then, once I have her built up, I don't need to tier 2 her. I will keep her at tier 1. And then I will work on Werewolf because he has a really good tier 2 passive and a really good 5 skill. Okay? Definitely will work on him. He's a support type, but he's a very good support type. So next up, guys, is actually going to be the special missions. So let's jump in here. Special missions. I would tell you guys, go for freaking Crystal. She's going to be the absolute best out of all of these guys, okay? She has a guard. She has really good crowd control. Very good damage. As for the rest of these guys, I would just skip into the new Avengers. And I would farm for Songbird first. And the reason why I'm going to farm for Songbird first is because just like Crystal, she has a lot of CC. However, she's not going to be as good as Crystal for a world boss, but she'll be good for PvP. She's going to make it so that the enemy has a very, very hard time if you play her manually and just keep spamming her freaking crowd control skills, okay? Very, very good character. And in Shadowland, even at 5-star, guys, she can get you a clear, so that's amazing, okay? Next character that I would farm for is actually Wiccan, okay? Wiccan has very good damage. There's a very good leadership, and if you're new, you're definitely going to want someone who has really good leadership on your team because you're going to be lacking those really powerful cards, so that will give you that extra push, okay? His survivability is questionable, so you want to go ahead and give him something with invincibility to get the most out of him, okay? As for the rest of these guys, I would go for White Tiger. She's going to be overall pretty good. She's not amazing. She's pretty good. She's going to be good in pretty much every single game mode. Leave her out of timeline because I don't see her shining there in my opinion, okay? And that's about all I have for this one, man. If you guys end up getting like some free bio selectors, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and use that on someone like Silk, okay? Silk is really freaking amazing for PvP, and even in PvE, she can hold her own because she has a guard that protects her, and she has iframes and a lot of crowd control. She's really, really freaking good, okay? So make sure you guys go ahead and get Silk if you guys end up getting some free selectors that I don't know about because it's been a long time since I was a new player, okay? And that's all I have to share for this one, guys. Sorry for making it super freaking long, but I wanted to try my best to be as thorough as possible, okay? And I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out.